Hey guys, Stapleton here. Welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a long time, but we have to get into this. Unai Emery has just been sacked from Arsenal, and this is the biggest matter. And I want to currently say a few scenarios and a few managers I think who could do really well in the job, and also just generally talk on the topic. Now, I did have a video planned for this, however, that's gonna have to be for a later time. But anyway, let's get right into this. So now we need to talk on the matter. Unai Emery is sacked. That is a final decision. It's not just a rumor currently. And right now, Freddie Lindbergh is the interim manager, which I think is a really bad appointment. We'll get into that later. But right now, do I think that was the right decision? Of course. Arsenal were in shambles, and the only thing that seemed to do well in is the Europa League, and that's because, well, they're not facing any big teams currently in the Europa League. And it's these things that really influence these decisions, because if you're doing well in one tournament, you're not being successful at a job. You need to do well-rounded. And also, Arsenal's a big club, and he was massively underperforming. And right now, AFTV is buzzing because of the fact that Unai is being sacked, and why wouldn't you be? The man was supposed to be the replacement to the legendary Arsene Wenger, yet he's got none of the charm. Like, sure, all he does is shout in press conference, "Good evening," and starts an entire riot whenever he says it. And we also heard a "Good afternoon" last week. I think that's when we knew he was out of the job. But to the point of matter, he deserved to be sacked, and now there are four managers that I think should get the job. Now they're not going to, they sure as hell won't, but these four managers would be my ideal choices for Arsenal and their path to the future and how they can proceed from here. So I'm gonna get into those options. Now, before I get into the manager options, I want to say why Freddie Lundberg should not get the job full time. Right now, we know he is the interim coach. That's the official statement told by the club. But he doesn't have any experience. And we're not talking like Lampard. Now, I'm a Chelsea fan. I have Frank Lampard as my manager, and this may contradict everything I'm going to say about him. But at least Frank Lampard managed a full-time team as the manager himself. Freddie Lundberg's only experience is the Arsenal under-15 job, the Arsenal under-23 job, and assistant coach at Wolfsburg. And these are not the qualifications that should get him into the job. Arguably, right now, Thierry Henry and Mikel Arteta have better resumes to getting them the job. But I think it's more a sentimental value since he is a club legend. Since he is part of that invincibles team that went the entire season without losing. I think maybe that's the reason why that he's been put in as the manager and he's been trusted. But honestly, he shouldn't be. And I'm saying this as a Chelsea fan with Frank Lampard as our manager. So now we get into the four options, starting with the first one. Now the most obvious one currently to take the job is Mauricio Pochettino, because he's recently been sacked. He's looking for a challenge just after he was thrown out of Spurs. And should he take the Arsenal job? Now, this would be a perfect job for him because it's the exact same thing he had to do at Spurs. Not necessarily rebuild, but restart, reignite the team. That's what he had to do. And I think he could do the job. But the problem is he'll get way too much backlash because he starts out at Spurs. He makes them the biggest team. He says such amazing things about them, and then he just walks out for their biggest rivals. So honestly, Poch should be amazing, but he should not take the job if he has any thoughts for his life. And the moment he steps back into North London, when he's with Arsenal, he's going to get torn to shreds. And I think he should take that in consideration, which is the reason why maybe Arsene Wenger is also another person who you have to rule out. But he's not part of my four, so we'll get on to the next one. So now we get to Massimiliano Allegri, the former Juventus manager. He would come in with a lot of pedigree, and he knows the business. That's a thing we know. This man knows how to pick the great players and get them on free transfers, and manages to build a team brilliantly, and he could be a huge person for Arsenal to get. There was a rumor like maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, that he was definitely taking the job. And right now, he does seem like a good option. But would Stan Kroenke be able to comprehend the wages that Allegri will ask for? Because Allegri was obviously the manager of Juventus, and Juventus were paying him boatloads of money. So if he goes to Arsenal expecting money, he's not going to get it because Stan Kroenke is not that kind of owner. And yeah, that's maybe the main reason why Allegri also won't take the job. But he should, and maybe he would, and he right now seems probably the most realistic option who I'd take currently as the manager, but I just don't see it happening. Now, this one may not be as crazy as it seems. Niko Kovac currently is cream of the crop. He is a good manager. He knows how to rebuild teams. It's just that the Bayern job wasn't for him. And I think, especially for me, I think that he could be walking into this Arsenal job the same way he walked into the Frankfurt job. Because both of these teams are used to be giants of their league, but they dropped off. And this is more of a rebuild project, which again, it's Kovac's specialty. He's done it with Frankfurt. I do not see why he cannot do it with Arsenal. So currently, he seems like the most realistic frontrunner, and it's also known that he doesn't really like to take a lot of money from owners. He likes to just invest a lot into the youth, and he likes to invest a lot more in the club than he invests in himself. So yes, the most realistic option currently out of all of these people is Niko Kovac. But I have a fourth person who I think would be the best option. But I see absolutely no chance of this happening. We'll get into why. Okay, this will almost certainly not happen. But imagine El Presidente's rise to fame, rise back to fame, I should say, is when he brings his Arsenal team to win the Europa League and gets them to this elite level again. Yes, it's absolutely ridiculous, but imagine if it happens. Remember that 2007 to 2008 Bordeaux team? I see that team at the same level as Arsenal's team currently. Remember that Bordeaux team? Long managed to make that team win the double that season. And their two best players in that season were Maravan Shamak and Gabriel Oberton. That speaks volumes of what this man can do. He knows how to run a club. It's as simple as that. He could run France, he ran Bordeaux, he ran Paris. And that is the main reason why I think Laurent Blanc, Le Presidente, should get the Arsenal job and rise back to the fame that made him probably one of the most respected managers at one point. Because without him, here's a bit of a coincidence. I think without him, there'd be no Emery, because the moment he left after disgracing them in the Champions League, Unai comes in, makes them do a bit better. Then after that, exceeds a bit more. And I think Laurent Blanc is also the reason why PSG is such a big stance. Him and Nasir Khalifi. started this empire with his money and Laurent's amazing mind of football. So I think if the board are genuinely considering a manager, Laurent Blanc would be the best option currently, but it is not happening because the man's not had a job for the past 3 years. So no, Lord knows if he's going to take this job, but he should if he wants to get back to that place. Anyway, that's it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm getting my camera fixed. I'm getting my audio fixed. You guys should recommend me something because I feel it's a bit bass boosted. But a lot more gaming videos may come in the future, and I trust and I assure you guys the uploads will be a little more. But until then, peace.